Hello everyone, welcome back to Protect and Persevere. So I actually meant to put this video out a while back, but I actually lost a bunch of the footage, and also it just had gotten dark and stormy real bad, so the quality wasn't that good anyways, so I just kind of didn't post it, but I went ahead and redid all of it. And so this is basically a follow-up to the Modern Minuteman 24-hour patrol contest video thing that I participated in. And this is essentially, instead of 3 months, it is now 6 months into some sort of collapse or grid down event, and things have gotten pretty bad, hypothetically, and there's roving gangs and marauders, and you're essentially, instead of just doing a 24-hour patrol, you're going to be setting up a 24-hour observation post somewhere. So my thoughts on this would be that I essentially would want to take the same exact crap I took on a regular patrol. I would just be adding stuff to that to set my OP. So basically a tripod, a spotting scope, some camo netting, and whatever other stuff I want to take. My philosophy on this would be, if things gotten really bad, I'd want to keep a pretty good distance from any sort of, bad people or whatever, but people in general. So my thought would be a kind of a long range, overlooking a highway. Maybe you're in the mountains and you're looking over, great distance or plains or whatever, that you're not, super close, but you're using distance as your first form of camouflage. And then you're just adding to that to just make sure you're not detected. And my other thought would be, for just a 24-hour observation post, I would want to be able to set it up quickly and have a minimal effect on the environment. So not, digging, like a giant hide or anything, but just setting up. Hotel 1, this is Noble 7, over. We have reached OP1. Repeat, we have reached OP1. Out. So yeah, just something that you could set up quickly, and then take down quickly if you needed to. So basically my thoughts was just kind of a camo netting to either set up a wall or to cover like a lean-to shelter or whatnot. And basically, like I said, this is more long range oriented, so I'd want to be using my tripod and spotting scope. So it really doesn't need to be super concealed. It just, just needs to break up the outline from a distance. And also, it was kind of tricky because the more concealment you have, like natural concealment, like trees or brush or whatever, the less you're able to actually get a good viewing window for your spotting scope. Or for instance, if I got really low to the ground, yeah, I might be able to, be super hidden and whatnot. But if there's tall grass 10 feet in front of me, then what's the point of having my spotting scope if I can't see, super far? So it's all compromised, just like everything. So right here, I just kind of set up the wall like I was saying, which if all I needed to do is do a quick, observation and just set up the spotting scope in the tallest configuration to where I'm just standing, it does a pretty decent job of breaking up my silhouette. Or honestly, I could just throw the camo netting over me and then get in some deep, get closer to a tree, and I would have some decent concealment. But my thoughts on this was that, if you're this far into a collapse, you don't know, you don't have updated weather. So for all I know, it could start pouring on me. So I just have a lean-to shelter with an extra poncho I bring, and just kind of connected the camo netting to the poncho. So I should have some range protection and some concealment. And obviously, if you had more time, you could set up, you could take natural veg and add it to this. But like I said, quick shelter. So right here, I'm in it with my spotting scope. The only kind of weird thing is you can see my feet right there pretty obviously, but yeah, it is what it is. Hotel 1, this is Noble 7, over. Nothing to report, RTB. So yeah, this setup could definitely be a bit more concealed, and also I feel like I could have set it up faster if I would have had the camo netting already pre-attached to the poncho versus having them separate. But also having them separate, like I said, allows me to just use them individually as needed. So it's kind of a compromise either way. But yeah, there's that. Also, hopefully, you know, I'm just showing this by myself, but hopefully you would have at least one other person to pull security while you're doing all this crap. And then also, you know, taking breaks where one person's resting and one person's observing. Because, you know, the spotting scope's good for the daytime, but also I have, you know, night vision and thermal capabilities to also observe at night. So it'd be helpful to have another set of eyes and to give yourself a break. The other thing was also the setup itself wasn't very comfortable. It was pretty cramped. So if I would have set it up maybe at a different angle or whatnot, or maybe taken a tarp, it would have been a bit more comfortable. Also, the other thing would be, like I said, I just wanted to add something to the light fighter, just as a little assault pack. But honestly, if I would have just taken a bigger backpack and like a chest rig, it would have been a lot easier to stuff everything, because I felt like everything was kind of competing for room. It would have been a lot easier just stuffing stuff into a big backpack versus, you know, having to be more methodical about it. But overall, I didn't think it was that bad. It's good to practice this. You never know when you need it. You know, even if, like I said, you're just observing something from a community standpoint, or heck, even if you're hunting, you know, deer or whatnot, being able to glass, you know, from a distance, it's a pretty good skill to have. Also, what this is also very weather dependent with all the stuff I brought, because if I also would have brought a bigger backpack instead of the light fighter and an assault pack, you know, if it was dead of winter, it might look a lot different. So I might do a kind of cold weather, kind of deep winter, what I would bring for observation. But yeah, and this is very, very niche, you know, just a pair of binos or even my little monocular, you can actually get some pretty good, you have pretty good observation capabilities. But like I said, this is very specific towards, you know, longer range observation and just adding more capabilities to the toolbox. All right, so going into the main differences with the light fighter is I put my knife right here. It's a little bit easier than having it on the shoulder strap. It just gets in the way less. I have it corded to where if I pull it out and I need it, I can take it off. I can pull it out and then it dangles, put it up, slides back in here. Same pretty much loadout. 3 mags, 1 smoke grenade, another 3 mags, smoke grenade, saw pouch. I have my observation equipment, so this is besides the long range stuff. This is a vortex monocular and rangefinder. So, and I have it set up to where I can kind of tie it around my neck, and this is for just like normal, you know, closer in stuff and, you know, whatnot. And I'd keep that either in this pouch or just actively have it on body. Folding saw, always have that thing on me. I went ahead and just stripped down my weapons maintenance kit, so I just have an extra bolt carrier, a rag, a brush, some lube, and a bore stake. I have an assortment of protein bars and a spoon. I ate some of them out there, but yeah, I would fill this up with more, just, you know, like quick, you know, snacks and protein bars, Cliff bars, whatever. And then I have some drink mixes, some Pedialyte, coffee. Yeah, just some stuff that is easy to make and eat, you know, either on the go or just I can quickly access it. And then I have a spare radio battery. And then other side, same thing. I have my IFAK and radio. So the main difference between the video I'd done before and I lost some of the footage and this one is going between, I have a cut up ground pad, and then the other one I had a small army waist pack that I had, just having the extra poncho I'd use for my lean-to shelter, and a ground sheet. Honestly, I can't decide between a ground pad and a ground sheet. This one, it wasn't that cold outside, but this does, you know, it's more comfy for sitting for long periods of time. But you know, ground sheet, if the ground's really muddy, that might be more useful. It's whatever. Pretty much the same exact real estate. And in the butt pack, this poncho is for wearing. So if it, let's say, worst case scenario, it is pouring rain and for some reason I still want to go make an observation post, I have a poncho that I can wear along with the extra poncho that I could have for my shelter. So worst case scenario, I could be wearing this poncho inside of that shelter if it's really pouring down, or if I have to ditch my shelter because I had to leave quickly, I got compromised, whatever. And the main difference between this one and then the patrol video is I essentially just added a warming layer because it is getting a little bit colder outside. So it's just a waffle top and a kind of fleece beanie. So because the lowest it has gotten recently is like in the high 40s, but you never know, it could be 60 degrees or it could be closer to 30 degrees. So I at least have that. And then my electronics, so night vision, handheld thermal, and a headlamp, and also my mount for my night vision. Nightcap with various batteries in here. One mount house meal. Like I said before, you can replace it with an MRE or whatever your fancy is. If you're that far into collapse, you're probably just going to pack whatever food you do have left. Water bag, filter, poop kit. I still haven't found a good shovel alternative versus using a trowel, and then spare socks and foot powder. So pretty much the same exact thing as last time, just I added a warming layer essentially. The assault pack. This is basically an AWS version of the famous beaver tail yoke pack or assault pack, whatever you want to call it. It's pretty cool. We got it on sale, but it's a very versatile pack. So in this little pouch, I basically just kept 10 stakes, bungees, iPro, and yeah, just miscellaneous stuff that I want to get to quickly. I don't have anything in this pouch right now, but honestly, I could shove more protein bars or quick snacks in there, or whatever. Going into the actual beaver tail part, where typically I'd store like a helmet or something, if I was using this for normal, stuff. But I actually have the spotting scope. I probably should have spray painted this or whatever, but yeah, that's the actual just spotting scope itself. And then a vortex tripod. For those that was wondering, I already said this is a vortex tripod. Pretty solid tripod for the money. And this is actually an Athlon 20 by 60 spotting scope. Pretty budget friendly spotting scope considering the vortex. I wanted to go with the vortex spotting scope. This is literally a third of the cost, and for at least getting into an entry level, this is a pretty decent spotting scope. And I have a really good tripod. So 20 by 60, it has decent clarity, definitely can see pretty far. Spray painted it, obviously, and then I have it on an Arca, I think that's what you call it, to where I can just quickly detach this or add it. But yeah, there's the main long-range observation equipment. Also, don't have anything here, but there's plenty of room. I could fit more stuff. One thing I could see adding is maybe a better antenna setup, or maybe an extra radio if I was really far away from friendlies. But in whatever scenario this would be in, I wouldn't want to be that far from help, but to each their own. And in kind of just the inner part, I have the extra poncho I was using for my shelter. I put jungle knots on it to help make it easy to set up and take down real fast. Shout out to the Modern Minuteman also for this. He's not the guy who invented it. This has been around for a long time, but he did a video a while back on jumbo knots, and I was like, hey, that's pretty cool. One thing is, I just kind of have this extra poncho, but I really don't like how the inner color is this bright tan color. Honestly, just a flat green would have been better, but it is what it is. You use what you have. And then I just have camo netting and the bungees still attached. And here is just a kind of ramrod thing if I did get a stud casing, but I still have yet to get like a more compact set for this. And instead of using that kind of inner sleeve in there for camelback, I actually have the Core Performance ice plate, just because it doesn't really fit inside there, and this also takes up less room. Obviously I've run a hose to it, but I wasn't out that long today, and I didn't feel like, you know, having to clean my tube for only being out there for a couple hours. But yeah, definitely, you know, this plus 2 canteens gets me up to 3.5 liters, or actually I think it's like 3, because it's 2 quarts plus 1.5 liters. You do the math. But yeah, so some water that I can drink on the move if I put the hose on. This won't break on me, and it gives me that room to shove stuff in. So that is the assault pack. Shout out to Modern Minuteman, and hope y'all like this video. Stay safe out there, and God bless.